Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing an election prediction video based off of the Republicans' best case scenario going into the midterms, which are really just about a few days away. Obviously, the Democrat best case scenario for the Senate. I'll do my final governor and Senate predictions, of course, in the next few days as well, and I guess a few other videos talking about the elections. But today, I'll be doing a best case scenario for the Republicans. Before I begin, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have gotten so many people to subscribe, so many subscriptions. I'm so thankful for that. If you've not subscribed, please consider subscribing as we get closer to 700 subscribers. Anyway, let's get right into the video now. So let's start off with safe Democrat states. Now, some states simply are not going to change. California with David Padilla is going to continue to be a safe Democrat state. Um, Oregon with Ron Wyden is going to continue to be a safe Democrat state. You have Maryland with Chris Van Hollen. Of course, will continue. Vermont will, of course, continue to be a safe Democrat state, as well as Hawaii, which used to actually be much more competitive when you go back to George Bush running in Hawaii back, I guess, 15 years ago. Now it's really pretty safe Democrat state. Let's get into our safe Republican states. Utah with Evan McMullen and Mike Lee, that will become a safe Republican state. Of course, all of these main races. Iowa with Chuck Grassley is going to become a safe Republican state in a best case scenario. And in Florida with Marco Rubio, that is going to become a safe Republican state. Marco Rubio is already up against Val Demings about 10 points. He will expand that lead in the best case scenario and win Florida. We're seeing a massive Hispanic shift in that section of the country. So, I expect that to continue to be what happens. Going into our likely Democrat states. Chuck Schumer will still win New York by a likely margin. He's still very popular in New York. Of course, he's the Senate Majority Leader. New York has narrowed up, especially in the governor's race, also in the Senate race, but very much in the governor's race, and that is because um, this is very much related to immigration and crime. Crime is a serious issue in New York. People don't believe that the Democrats are addressing it, as well as immigration. Because of the influx of immigration from South America, Republican governors such as Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis are shipping people to New York, and people are being overwhelmed, and people are upset about that as well. So those are two major issues, and I guess that's this part of the reason why it's shifting. Connecticut with Richard Blumenthal will continue to be a likely Democrat state, as well as Illinois with Tammy Duckworth will be likely Democrat. Not safe, but likely. Still very, Democrats will very much have a very good shot at winning that, even in a best case scenario for the Republicans. Likely Republican state be J.D. Vance in Ohio, will be Ted Budd in North Carolina. I'm even going to include Ron Johnson in Wisconsin. He's been leading in the polls, anywhere from 2 to 4 points. In a best case scenario, he could expand that lead, win by about 5 to 7 points. Wisconsin and the Rust Belt have been trending to the right. His opponent has not had the best. Mandela Barnes has made some controversial comments in the past, and that has led to a lot of the support being lost with him, which is why I'll put him in the likely column. Ron Johnson likely column in a best case scenario. Ron Johnson is still pretty popular in Wisconsin, and I don't want to take that away from him. Going into our lean Democrat states, there really is going to be two lean Democrat states. This will be Patty Murray in Washington. That state has very scarcely, I don't even know how to describe it, scarily narrowed up for Patty Murray against her opponent. And, she is really kind of what you would say if you would rank the Democrats in the Senate. It would be Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin, and then Patty Murray. She's pretty much the number 3 Democrat. She is at risk in Washington. You look previously, she's had close races before. Let's just search it up. RCP Senate map. Back in, let me find the year. It tells you right here. 2010, she only won by 4-ish points. Obviously, 2016, she won by 18 points. That's a safe margin. Now she's only up 3 points in the polls. She'll probably end up winning by about 3. Well, honestly, she could only end up winning by about a point or 2 points in a best case scenario for the Republicans. She is very vulnerable. Tiffany Smiley, I believe that's like Smiley, whatever you could pronounce it as, is a good candidate. She's been campaigning well in Washington, and you can see over time, especially as we've gotten closer to the election day, Murray was originally up in almost all polls aside from Trafalgar. In double digits relatively, and now you see a lot of polls have it narrowing up. You have this Insider Advantage poll, Trafalgar Group. Those are really the two Republican pollsters, but even things like Survey USA, Plus 8, KHQ TV, I don't even know what that is, but Murray Plus 6. So it is narrowing up, and it'll probably end up, in a best case scenario, in the lean column at least, really anywhere from 2 to 5 points. I don't know. That's my prediction. Also, lean would be Colorado with Michael Bennet. Colorado has been shifting to the left, even in a best case scenario. I don't really see the Republicans picking it up. We do have more polls to come out. There was a recent poll with Michael Bennet only up 2 points in Colorado, done by Trafalgar Group, of course. But, you know, Colorado has definitely been a stronghold for the Democrats since 2008, I'd say. Anyway, lean Democrat states. I believe that Herschel Walker will win Georgia by a lean margin. I believe that Dr. Oz will win Pennsylvania by a lean margin. Keep in mind, this is a best case scenario for the Republicans. This is my actual prediction was posted yesterday. This is their best case scenario. Dr. Oz. We look at the debate performance by John Fetterman. Even though there's been a lot of early voting, still a lot of people have yet to vote. A lot of independents. After John Fetterman's debate performance, you saw that massive shift in the polls. People simply, saw for the first time John Fetterman's condition post-stroke. And I do believe that swayed a lot of minds. Herschel Walker against Raphael Warnock has been leading the polls about 2 points. In the end, he'll probably win by a lean margin, even in the best case scenario. Best case scenario, he wins maybe 5 points. And Adam Laxalt in Nevada, he pretty much has secured victory in Nevada at this point. But even in a best case scenario, I'll give him the lean margin victory. And now we'll head over to our tilt states, and that really goes to New Hampshire and to Arizona. In a best case scenario, Republicans will pick up both of these states, Blake Masters in Arizona. I've still maintained that I believe he'll win that state. But I'll put that on the tilt margin. I still think it would be in the tilt margin. Arizona's going to be very close, regardless of really much that happens, unless it comes out that Mark Kelly killed somebody. I do believe that Arizona is going to be pretty much down to the wire. Maggie Hassan appears to be vulnerable in New Hampshire against her opponent, Don Bolduc. I don't know how to pronounce it. He's actually taken the lead in New Hampshire spread. We had the Daily Wire Trafalgar poll, another Republican pollster up one, and St. Anselm. And this is the most accurate pollster in New Hampshire, St. Anselm, and I did not highlight that correctly. But the most accurate New Hampshire pollster has Bolduc up one. Republicans are now spending money they had previously pretty much given up on this race, but they see Hassan's vulnerable. If they end up picking 54 seats in the Senate, that will be an incredible victory for the Republicans. And going into 2024, as I spoke about in the last video, they have a shot at getting 60 seats. I'm not saying that they will, but they have a legitimate case for it. You have people like Joe Manchin in Virginia up for re-election, John Tester in Montana up for re-election, Sherrod Brown in Ohio up for re-election. 3 easy pickups. Say the Republicans get 54 Senate seats. That's 57. Kyrsten Sinema is up in Arizona. Jackie Rosen is up in Nevada. Those seats will be competitive. Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin, possibly competitive. Debbie Stabenow in Michigan. Tina Smith in Minnesota. You have states across the country that are vulnerable for the Democrats. Now, I'm not saying they're going to lose all of those states. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But regardless, Republicans take Ohio, West Virginia, Montana back. All they need is 3 wins, 3 victories. If they beat Kyrsten Sinema in Arizona, that's 58. If they beat Jackie Rosen in Nevada, 59. Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin, 60. Debbie Stabenow, 61. If they manage to beat Bob Casey in Pennsylvania, he's very popular there. He'll probably end up winning nonetheless. But it's a toss-up state. That's 62. Tina Smith in Minnesota, that's 63. Tim Kaine in Virginia, who knows? 64. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I don't think that Tim Kaine's going to lose. I don't think that Bob Casey or Tina Smith is going to lose, or maybe even Debbie Stabenow, Tammy Baldwin. But that just means that the Democrats are vulnerable and Republicans have a shot at a supermajority. So honestly, if I'm going to be remaking my election prediction, I honestly may give New Hampshire to the Republicans at this point. So the best case scenario for the Republicans is probably what they're going to get. You could argue that Washington would move to tilt Democrat. I'll say that they are moving to tilt Democrat just for the case of the video because it is a best case scenario. But I do think that Washington at the end of the day will remain in the Democrats' column. If the Republicans pick up Washington, if they pick up Colorado and get 56 Senate seats, that is going to be, they will hold the Senate as a majority for a very long time to come. We can just say that. But at the moment, best case scenario for the Republicans, 54 to 46. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this best case scenario prediction. It's a best case scenario. It's not my actual prediction. Let me know what you think. Do you think Republicans would manage to pick up any other states? Do you think that I mischaracterized any states? Do you think that Washington should be. Well, I did put Washington in the end tilt. But let me know. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe, comment below your thoughts, like the video, and have a great day. See you all.